Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dave Sebastian, coordinator of Mentoring Arts Programming with Wayside. I am here with you today doing some more artwork. I don't know if you guys tuned in a couple of minutes early. I was just blowing my intro. It is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? We're doing the best we can over here. Welcome back to the home studio in Shirley. I'm excited to be working with you guys again. I'm pretty much hoping everybody's doing artwork today so they're not outside in this brutality of heat. Inside my house with air conditioning is 80 degrees. It's crazy. But you know, that's summer. I'm excited to have it. But in any case, we're working on more, doing more artwork today, doing some different stuff. Last week we finished the I Gone Wild model. Was a pretty good time, which was a Franco product. It's like a new thing. It's kind of a new thing that they've been doing, which is he's been licensing some models of his drawings, which are totally amazing. I can show you how it came out here. Right here. So this was how we finished it up. Really a lot of fun. His artwork is really well translated, into this type of thing. I think it's really cool. That's I like that so much that I think I'm going to do a bunch more models. I think that the artwork I'm currently interested in is custom culture-y kind of stuff, and I am, I'm just not really a part of that world. I'm very interested in it, but it is definitely not where I work, where I do my artwork or what my artwork has to do with, which just makes it a different kind of a thing to try. I feel like every day I'm doing artwork, I'm doing my own stuff, right? And you'd always want to get out of your comfort zone, at least by a little. Push yourself to try something different. I just finished doing a skateboard, and it took me forever to do it, and I don't love it. I think I made a lot of mistakes. But as a first effort at something like that, it could have come out worse, We will be doing some more skateboards. I think the next skateboard I'm going to do is the Jeep from Popeye. And then a Will Eisner one. If you guys don't know who Will Eisner is, Will Eisner invented the Spirit, who you really, pretty good chance you would not have heard of unless you're a comic book fan. But his deal is that he was really one of the most successful cartoonists or comic artists in history. I found out recently he worked for the military doing all of their don't do stupid stuff type ads, which I've always thought were pretty awesome. I think it's called like John Dodd or Johnny Dodd or something, doing dumb things, He drew all of those. Then he did endless Sunday newspaper strips. I think he has like 20 graphic novels out that are all unbelievable quality. And the Spirit is completely iconic. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see another Spirit revival, because the character is really awesome. And humorously enough, I suppose, if you're a Spirit fan, is I just realized the Spirit character himself is a ghost, which is why he doesn't get killed in all these operations that he does, all these beatings and stuff. That might not be true, but that's what I got from looking at something the other day. I found a really cool Will Eisner Facebook page. If you guys want to check out more of his stuff, that's where you go, at least in the short term, But today we're going to talk about a different artist. His name is Richard Corbin. Now, Richard Corbin is a San Francisco artist and unbelievably talented guy. He drew for heavy metal for eternity. Like, he was drawing for heavy metal probably my entire life. I remember picking up Corbin in 1977, and, I was 6 years old, and I was reading Creepy. Loved horror when I was a kid, and that kind of stuff, and Richard Corbin had shown up in there quite a bit. He was really, iconic in heavy metal, but creepy and eerie, he showed up quite a bit, and his style was one of the most unique of all of those artists there. I actually have a collage by him right here I could show you guys, but maybe in a minute. So I did a story using I did a collage using one of his strips from Erie, and I had a great time. I thought it worked out really well. It even sold at a comic book convention. So it was a successful piece. Who bailed? Who fell? Oh, there we go. One of my Dalek figures is bailing out. Right, so the Corbin piece really worked out, really well. And that was a story about two scientists trying to summon a demon. And one realizes that this is a horrible idea, and the other's already gone too far. So they wind up dying in their own spectacular sort of a way, or the story ends in its own way. But one of the shots that I couldn't use because of the way I was using the media around it is this piece right here. Let me just set up to show you guys. So this is the demon in that story. And he was in about 5 or 6 pieces. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of build them together in this way, and repaint it to try to give it some of this sort of like effect. A lot of through here is mixing oil paint and water to get these sort of cells and stuff. Like, really had a good time. And very recently, my unbelievably awesome, I'd love to call him a friend, but I don't really know him that well. His name is Todd, and he is from Dry River Woodworks on Etsy. Great guy. He's my go-to guy for framing. I just had him do 30 frames, I think, for a couple of different projects. Really going well. Really, really just a great partnership. I've been so excited to run into that guy. I will put a link in the description down here in the comments. If anybody's interested, Dry River Woodworks. All right. The other thing is some of the products I'm going to use today. We're going to do 2 projects. Like I said, today we're going to frame this guy out really quick, which only takes a minute or 2. And then we're going to jump into the new model. How much of the new model will get done, I'm not totally sure, because we have to prime it, let it dry for a few minutes, and then get into sort of deciding what we're going to do with it. I usually soft assemble, or the last piece I soft assembled pretty much the whole thing to see how it would go, and then took apart the pieces that we really needed to paint. The other one we could get away with inside of the car and the under, the frame underneath and stuff, because these things were just going to be black. And then we knew that the top pieces, the body, the character, all that stuff had to be custom painted. In fact, I'm actually thinking that I should add another custom image on the back of the I Gone Wild car, and I was thinking I would use this Von Franco drawing because it's totally awesome. I just haven't figured out really the best way to do it just yet. I think it's gonna work out, but I'm not totally sure. And the idea would be to put it on there, and I've used rust throughout I was trying to make that model rusty. Which is something I'm really interested in. And so I'd have to sort of rust that character too, unless I could figure out a way to spray it or paint or draw it in black, and I can't draw as well as Von Franco can, that's for sure. But I'm thinking about it. There's a couple, there's that one and this one. This one's pretty fun too. And then the character had this model in his hand, which is of course the model that we had made. That one actually might be fun. That's what I should use. The artwork is the model that we did. That might be a good idea. All right, so what we're going to do real quick with this, back up a little, is we're just going to get our frame ready, which basically I paint it black, let it dry for a few minutes, and rub it out. And then we glue the actual artwork in there. There we go. So usually, what I do to paint my frames is I use a bingo dauber, which is like a big old dauber. I guess I don't know what else you'd call it. But my dauber went bad, and I've ordered some new ones, but they're not in yet. So today we're gonna paint our frame in I guess what you'd have to call a traditional way, although I don't paint my frames at all in a traditional way. I don't prime them, I don't use gesso, I don't use underpainting with them. I just make as big of a mess as possible. Look at them, already off to a shaky start, making a big, see, like, and I have a box of gloves over there. So anyway, what we're gonna do here is I've just laid out some high flow acrylics that are by Golden. You know, really, they're good paints. I airbrush a lot, so having all paints that can be used in the airbrush is a really important thing to me. So these guys, high flow acrylics, obviously are pretty thin, so they flow really well. So it's a straight shot from the bottle into the airbrush, and that's awesome. I, for years, have been going totally the opposite way, which is I have always used heavy body acrylics and painted my stuff nearly a caustic with so much paint, you know. I have always found that to be relatively expensive, because paint ain't cheap, man. But I got that from a fellow by the name of John Berger, great painter. I saw at the Fitchburg Art Museum when I was a kid. He was a student of Philip Guston. If you guys don't know Philip Guston, please Google him. You know, like, he's a great artist. And this guy, you know, really affected me. You know, I was in art school at the time, and it really meant, he was an artist that just meant something to me, especially, I think, partially because when we went there for a tour from school, and it was a sort of a first time for me to meet like a professional artist, and to think that, you know, maybe it isn't, you know, the biggest, you know, mistake I could do in my life to be in art school. You know, maybe it's possible to be an artist and, you know, live. You know, and you don't necessarily have to be like some kind of a god of skill or popularity to, you know, be able to get by and paint for work, you know. And he had been a professional artist for about 10 years at that time. And he had gone to school with Philip Guston before he passed away. And he was doing some really exceptionally interesting work. It was figurative work, but it was like layering paint in a really interesting way. Very, very talented fellow. You know, it's too bad is, you know, I loved it at that time, and then the internet came along. So I was like, oh man, I got to find, if there was an evolution happening, which there is with everyone who does artwork of any kind, he could wind up changing his work and it could go somewhere or evolve in some way. And since I am interested in the work he was doing back then, how cool would it be to see the work he's doing now? And, you know, with the internet, we could actually like reach out to the guy and say, hey, you know, where are you at? You know, like, thanks for making an impression on me. You know what I mean? Like, I always feel like that what was my favorite thing of the internet is this, you know, everybody says it brings us closer together, and it totally does. You know, like, it brings us really close together. I'm old. When I wanted to talk to a rock star, I sent a fan letter that I'm sure they threw away as soon as they got it. Looks pretty good for our inside. One of the things that's a little bit of a bummer of using these frames is they're reclaimed barnwood frames, which is totally awesome, and I love that. But I hate to paint over it. You know, like I just did one. I think it's the Grendel one that's over there, but I couldn't paint over it. You know, like, it had nail holes in it and grain and just all this personality. And this does too. You know, I had bought them with the intention of doing this with them because I was looking for something that would contain the artwork, and, you know, give it access. You know, if you wanted to hang it or something, you have the frame to do that. And a level of presentation, which is important. So I wear black as much as I can, and I would like my artwork to wear black as well. I would normally tape this down to the table so that it'd be a little easier to paint, you know. But it's pretty small, so I might as well just knock it out real quick. So close, and yet just one more drop of paint. Right. Make sure we got everything. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Looks like we at least got everything, right? Okay. So then we're going to let this guy dry for about a minute. Let's throw some of this stuff away. Yeah. Going to grab some gloves. Saw how messy my hands already are. Should probably not touch the artwork with these hands. Right? So, you know, giving it not long, but just a minute. So now you just go over it, and I just dry everything off. Kind of give it a little bit of nothing, like it, you know, dries it up a little quicker, and maybe gives it a little bit of, what do they call it, antiquing or something, but it's not even that really. It's just I don't like to wait for paint to dry. That's the shameful truth, guys. Shameful truth. All right. So next, simple enough, right? We're going to use Gorilla Wood Glue, which what would you use? You know, what we're putting down is masonite. I mean, this is aqua board, but the back of it, I mean, but it's masonite. You know, the back of it is masonite. And this is also, what masonite is, of course, pressed board. And this is masonite as well. I mean, wood as well. This guy is real hard to keep clean, but I've been working on it. There you go. So now you just do a real, like, clean, flat swipe all the way around. Definitely got a little too much right there. This glue dries transparent, so it's not a real big deal, you know. just like all the glues that I use, like Mod Podge and Gel Medium. Paint wood glue. I just got a new glue called that's a leather glue. Also dries transparent. What's this glue called? Leather Weld. Nice, cool name for interesting product. So now we just kind of same deal as what we were just doing with the paint. Really, is we let this thing hang out for about 30 seconds. And while we're waiting, we could take a look at what we're going to do today. This is our Hoods and Crooks model by Franco, French dressing, French fries. Anybody out there seen Better Off Dead? I'm sure somebody has seen it. Not just me watching that movie. Where is John Cusack today? That guy. He was the biggest star of my generation. John Cusack. All right. Got the plastic coming off on our model. Looks cool, right? Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. All right. Oh, wait. There we go. All right, that's probably long enough of waiting. So then we just bring our artwork in, drop it down. This is also one of the really cool parts of using floating frames. Is like that is what we have to do. Like that is pretty much it. Ooh. Also good to put something in between whatever you're going to use as weight, so that you don't glue whatever you use to it. You don't, I feel like some of the folks that I talk to about, that particular part of the project, they're putting like a brick on it. Additional pressure, I don't think makes a difference. I think that if you put quarter pound of pressure on for 24 hours, that's going to be exactly the same as 5 pounds on 24 hours. I think. I easily could be wrong about that. If you guys think that I'm totally out to lunch, throw it in the comments. I'm like totally interested in hearing from you guys. I love comments. They're really fun. And yeah, so if you guys are down, let me know. So we're going to move right on to, hey, check out this toothbrush. This is like the coolest airbrush cleaner in the world. Toothbrush. All right. So this is the first time I've opened this thing, so I don't know anything more than you do. All right. All right. The last model I did was also a Mobius model, because they must have made the deal with Franco. Oh, well, already this looks quite a bit more complicated than the last model we did. Last model, I would say, had a max 30 parts. We'll see. This one's awesome. That's our first piece, a coupe. I wonder what year this is. 2, 4, 5 window coupe. Oh yeah. A little like blown out too. Like you see that it's like exaggerated in the lines. Like, it's definitely a soft 5 window. Yeah, there's some parts in here, man. We'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, I was just reading that this material here is called the key. What holds the other parts. I like it. Hold on one sec, you guys. go. Okay. Well, maybe not too much more complicated. I have so much respect for the people out there that can sit down and do like hot rod models, like real hot rod. These are like toys, you know, but hot rod models like real, you know, exact replicas. You know, what do they call it? 1.26 scale or something. They're amazing. I can just barely pay attention to the stuff I'm doing, let alone get myself into a big project. Although, you know, this is the second model I've probably done since I was a little kid. I got real excited about the concept of trying to do some models, but I feel like that had happened to me as a kid a few times too. Like I was like, oh cool, you know, like I'll start doing models. All these dudes I know do models and they're awesome. You know, these guys have all their shelf in their room that's all these models that they've done, dragsters and funny cars and all that kind of stuff. And I have a bunch of half-made engines that I couldn't, for whatever reason, get right or whatever. Hey, this is funny. They couldn't have got them to draw a lot because they got two paintings and it looks like maybe 3 drawings, since this one is the other model. Oh yeah, also the same. In fact, this is the exact same drawing. This right here, it even has the other model in his hand. I think it's funny that it says H-A-M-B as opposed to H-A-M-C. I love these names though. Like step 1, the roller. That's our wheels and stuff, right? Step 2, the pipes. And this is good because it'll help us separate out, you know, some of the stuff that we have to paint as opposed to some of the stuff that we could put together. This right here is pretty much good to go. We could put that whole deal together because it's underneath the truck, underneath the car. Only thing I guess is maybe like the differential, or we could make the axles silver, but I think that black would actually probably be better. But the first thing we're going to do before we even do that is we have to go through and sand a little and prime. See, you know, what we're going to need to paint, and there's plenty. I mean, sanding is going to be an ongoing process because it's really like the stuff once we start putting some things together and stuff. But mostly starting out, it's going to be pieces like these, which are all engine pieces, mirrors and stuff. Those all need to be chromed and painted. This looks like this is the undercarriage that we were saying we could probably get away with just painting black. This is our exhaust. We're definitely going to have to do some hardcore painting on that thing. Got some hands and fingers. The front axle. Here's our underbody pieces, including our steering wheel. This is, I think, the front of the motor. Not too bad. That's piece 25. So I wonder how many pieces there actually, you know, are. Let's see. 18. Those are low numbers too. These might be the highest numbers. 25 pieces maybe. Oh no, here we go. It's like 41. And so then maybe this guy makes 42. Yeah, there we go. All right. So everybody gets primed, but not everybody is going to get this, you know, paint sort of right away. So each time I do these models, I do something desperately wrong. Today's desperately wrong is I'm going to clear coat the all the pieces with transparent base, which is an airbrush product that's made to work on top of. You know, it's like a glue kind of thing. And then I might stick it with adhesion promoter. And adhesion promoter is just like it sounds. It makes the surface to paint want to stick to it a little bit more. So it's good stuff in that regard. I have a new product called ULVI, and it seems like it's going to wind up being a good product. I think I just haven't quite figured it out yet. One of the real problems that I have with all the chemistry related to airbrushing, chemistry being anything but paint, you know, additives, not so much thinner, I suppose, or reducer, but things like, you know, this will make this effect, you know, which are things I find very interesting, you know, but I just haven't really been able to get into them or been interested enough to get into them or honestly understand them. And the big deal that bothers me is in reduction, because when I use the, I've been using two different ones, 4040 and UVLI, and they're, you know, kind of the same idea. They're like bleed checkers or, vehicles, right? Polymer. And so they're made to coat your surfaces, either undercoat, base coat, on top coat, you know. I'm going to use transparent base today and see kind of how it goes. I'm going to try to do maybe 2 coats of that, and we'll give about 5 minutes in between, and hopefully this will, you know, give us a good work surface, because the hardest part of the last project is that I was scraping paint off as I was putting it on. You know, I paint with a lot of markers, so I don't want, to be able to run a marker across something and find that it's peeling the paint that's under it off. I see. All right. Well, it says that we can reduce it a little. Good, tips and tricks, right? A good tip from airbrushing is shake the heck out of everything you're going to use. They got the ball in there, and that, helps. But if you don't shake it, the ball doesn't do anything. Like this guy, when I picked it up, it was straight divided in half. And that's not what we want. Right now, I am spraying at about 50 psi, which should easily push this product. I am going to reduce it by about 10%. I had this brilliant idea that I work with a metal mayo stand, and so I was going to take all of my bottles and glue magnets on the base to keep them standing. So far it's worked on everyone except my water bottle because it's too heavy and it peeled the tape off. All right, there we go. Say that's about a 10% reduction. Get my skull on. You guys check this out. This is the top of my airbrush is a skull. I really love it. This came red, and then I also got a black one because my other airbrush is all black. Really just a silly thing, but gosh damn it if it isn't fun. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is just kind of see what happens as far as being able to push this material and that kind of stuff. I'm going to give you guys the whole screen so you can kind of see. I think I'm going to be a total pain and start with the car itself and just see what we can get going. Don't throw it. While you're doing this kind of stuff, you want to try really hard not to touch it, because it's going to leave your fingerprints on it, and you don't want that. All right. We got that guy. Make sure everybody's nice and dry. We'll go to the next one. This one, some are view services on the back too, like the back to his fingers, the rest of the guy, this character's fingers. I imagine it's just the one guy, so I'm sure this is his fingers too. But we got a steering wheel just by itself. Yeah, probably be out a little bit. Mostly you just gotta let everything, give everything a good coat to be sticky. Alright, this one's cool. This is like 6 pieces, so it should be pretty easy to get this coated. And you can see it. Very good. Take a look at the back. No, it's all interior. So we're good on that one. This one's an important one. I don't know what these things are, but they're big. Maybe these are the wheels? Maybe. The back one, the last one was awesome to come with real rubber wheels. That was really fun. We've gone across all of our pieces one direction, and we kind of just got to give it a couple of seconds to dry. While we're waiting, let me tell you a quick thing, which is that this is our last week only remote. Next week, we're going to be back in the studio at 68 Henry Street in Framingham, which is Tempo Young Adult Resource Center. I'll be there on Wednesday from 10:30 to 3 doing in-person arts programming. If you give a call over there to Tempo, they can put you on the list. Unfortunately, we do have a sign-up kind of thing going on, just so we can limit the number of folks that are in the building at a given time. I'm hoping that this is not going to last, that we'll be able to, oh, we forgot to spray this piece, that we'll be able to get just an open program pretty soon, you know, but it might take a little bit. So there's a piece that we missed, engine pieces and stuff, seems like we should get those. Still don't really know what these these things are, but probably find out eventually. Alright, let's flip this guy over. Anything back here? This is obviously the inside, but even if I want to just paint it black, I want it to stick pretty good. Slap that guy down, let him dry for a few. Take a look at how we're doing for our base coat, and we need a little more to do everybody again. You know, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go right across everybody again. Use our reducer. Whoops. There we go. Got some great reduction that last time. That was working totally fine. So we start up with the car again, trying to touch it as little as possible, since it should already have some coating on it. It already does. It should, because we put it on there a couple minutes ago. Good for our car there. Now we want to just kind of go straight across again, the same as we did. There we go, too heavy. Alright. Last time through, I don't think we coated the other side, and it looks like maybe a little of this might need it. I don't know what that is, but those pieces look really like they're going to be interior pieces. So. Sorry for the noise, that's of course the compressor. Woo. we're going to break out those directions again. All right. Here is our directions. Oh yeah, not bad. Some straightforward stuff. All right. I think before we even do that, go ahead and some pieces that we know are going to be chrome. Actually, even before we put paint on, let's line up the pieces that we want first. 36, 37, 35. And we're going to need this big piece here. Right. So it looks like the first stuff we really got to work on is going to be black. Got a pretty good amount of black in here because we are gonna probably hit a lot of them with a black base coat. Alright, well, the first thing we're gonna do is paint the parts that we know we're gonna put together first, which is gonna be this really large piece right here, this bottom one. First thing I want to do, got our paint in there. There's my little trimmers. These are speaker wire trimmers, but they work really, really well. They have like a little wire trimmer right up on it. If you decide to use a hobby knife like this, please be careful. I'm always careful, and I've cut myself just under 12,000 times. So just cut away from you. You can do this with sanding too, but sometimes you just take off a little bit too much. So this guy lets you really target the trim. We got piece number 1. Here's our piece number 2. There's my sandpaper. Mostly use the sandpaper thousands of times. plastic in the model isn't going to do a whole heck of a lot, you know, to damage your sandpaper. I've used it quite a few times. Make sure you support all the pieces of your model that you're sanding, because you don't want to break anything. This is probably, I think this is 220. You should probably have like a 180 and a 220. 180 is your big areas, and the 220 is, you know, the finer areas. There we go. A lot of folks say to wet sand. I haven't tried that, but it completely sounds like a good idea to me. I know it softens things up a pretty good amount, and you know, that's pretty much what we're looking for. Right? So I used the X-Acto last time just because it seemed really obvious. This one is not bad either, but I can get it in there pretty good. I'll just trim her up. Let me put my glasses on. All right. Getting a little bit of the tab from the key off. That's a cool word that I just learned looking at other guys, you know, looking at some guys who do some awesome model videos. I wish I could remember who it was, because I would 100% give you credit, man. Everybody out there that's doing models on YouTube are awesome, unbelievable. I was thinking it might be fun to do the models how I did it when I was a kid, which is just do half of them and leave them piled up. Maybe not the best way to go. I don't know. Yikes. He jumped. It's not worth it. Alright, let's take a look at this guy. Yeah, it's cleaned up pretty good. All right. All right. What other piece we got? What's next? 34. Of course, of these things. Kind of too bad. The last model, everything was, not everything, but like the wheels were real rubber. The hubcaps were already chrome. And this one, plastic wheels. Plastic. Hubcaps. It's kind of lame. Alright, these pieces here. Oh, let's clean up these guys first. Sorry about that, guys. You know how it is. Everybody calls when you're totally not available. Oh, put them over there, yeah. Just trimming off the piece, you know, the excess. Alright, but then once you got the excess, you still got the where the excess lived. Let me get that off. Anything else? Nope, that one's good. Yep. Almost. I wonder if I got these surgical scissors. If they'd work a little better. Oh. About the same. How you guys holding up out there? We're about an hour in to our 2-hour session today. What do we got? I think we got everything we need pulled out here. That was more than I meant to take off. Okay. I can't do much with that. Same deal. Good. I gotta go with our first little guy. Oh, he's bailing out on us. Right. But do your really best to really control your blade while you're doing that, because I have cut my fingers more than a few times. Don't love this mold line on the little tire that goes pretty much all the way around. There is no way you're not going to be able to see that through paint. All right. No, didn't take. Hey, damn you, man. Hold on one sec, you got. Okay. We caught him. All right. I wish I could have got just a little bit more of this. See this? This is a. This is the edge of the mold. Right, like so you see that line, that's the edge of the mold from where they made the plastic. Suspension of disbelief, you know. You don't want to see the mold. That's completely ridiculous. All right, I think we got those pieces. What else was waiting for us in there? Looks like that's everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pieces. All right, we're going to bump these guys up here for a sec. So we got a little bit of extra room. Right. Lay out our stuff right here. I don't think we really did any sanding on the car itself, but I only see one spot here that I don't like what happened with the molding. Yeah, the body looks real good as far as sanding. All right, so it's a pretty good, well, let's these two. Pretty good split, right? Like these guys, they need chrome. Everything else here needs black. So what I think I'm going to do is coat everybody in black, and then we'll work on top of these guys with silver in a little bit. So the first thing we want to do is coat everybody in black. Pretty much all set. Got black ready to go. We're aired up and ready to go. Got the airbrush up kind of high, so it should do the job. Stand, here we go. This is a cool, it's a, what do you call, a soldering stand, but it does real well to just be up for painting. Oh no, this is not the right piece. Right. 27. No, this one. They look almost the same, but they're not. Whoops. Damn it. Really not much, you know, a little tiny bit. All right. Oop. Okay. Wonder if we got any good spray on that one, because I honestly didn't even notice it was there. See if we can get a little bit of just a little primer on there. We'll paint you last. Put this guy over here on the side. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's what we were gonna do. We got a hold of them. Yeah, looks pretty good. Yeah, we'll both go kind of the same way. Right. So this guy right here. Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. All right. So what we're using here is a soldering stand. Wicked cheap. They're like $6 or $7. Really works well to hold on to anything that you don't want to have to hold on to. In this context, we're going to just clear coat, spray it with black. So leave this here so we don't get any black on anything below it. bumps. Pull this thing out. Go. Okay. Oh, a little bit messy here. That would be a sign saying, hey Dave, you didn't reduce that paint enough. Look at how we're doing in here. Hmm. Ooh. All right. Got to paint those guys too, but I want to give our tires there a couple minutes to dry so that I can use that stand. good idea to just have something under you when you're painting all the time. Cap trouble. Okay. Got this guy good to go. Whoa, alright, come on now. Nothing's worse than trying to screw this part on the airbrush and running out of fingers. Oops. All right, that guy looks pretty good. Now I'm sure these tires are dry enough that we could take them off. And we can move on to the larger tires. Which will hopefully work as well, because that worked out really well. All right. Out of paint? Nope. we're going to take these guys, hit them with clear coat one more time, base coat, which I still have in this other airbrush here. Mostly just because I don't want to put black on these guys and then try to get silver to get them to stay standing out. It's going to be a little challenging to hold. Now we know we got a lot of that base coat on there. Interesting. I have this big bottle of water floating around here somewhere. Where are you, water? That's kind of crazy. Up here because I needed it. I just use it too. Wow, that's really strange. Down, down. Ooh. All right. Just clean it out the airbrush. All right. Okay. Right? Trying to decide the best thing to do here. Grab a piece of this key that we don't need. This is a silver Maltal liquid chrome marker. It's pretty cool. Try something up. Try a little something different. Alright, we're going to let this guy dry for a sec. Use the airbrush for that. Way too much. Clean the airbrush again, but basically we had to give a couple of secs for the white to dry for us anyway. Okay. All right. Cool. So next we're going to try, see if this white is dry or not. Let that dry for a sec. Alright. Well, it looks like the answer to that one would be, looks a lot better with the white on it. So we don't have anything in here, and I literally just cleaned the white. So what we're going to do is we're going to spray these guys white. So that when we put the silver on top, it'll stand out a little bit better. I think that we're going to do that with all the chrome parts on the vehicle. Jeez, no matter which way I go, I'm cutting you guys out. All right. See if we got anything else. We know it's going to be, well, actually, we 100% do know other things that are going to be chrome, like our pieces of our engine. Just turn it over so that we can get the bottom sides. All right. Alright, gotta see what other parts go to our engine. Oh, might be out of paint. Yep. Okay. Well, pull this guy out real quick and take a look at it because it looks like it's got a mad. Well, actually, this one might be okay. It has like a bad model line, but it's also a manufactured item in the context of, you know, of what it is. It's a steel piece, so it very easily could be just like that. have our picture floating around. Definitely chrome. Alright, let's see what else. Okay. Alright, that looks like kind of it. The rest of these are all organic. Oh no, that's not true. These guys all need to be white so that we can make them their own colors. What are they? What? We're getting low on paint again. Now I'll have too much because now we're almost done. Okay. Everybody's nice and dry. We got some paint on everything. curious to see what happens. So we painted these guys a little bit ago. This paint's still coming off though. Yep. It's still not dry enough. Huh. Don't at all need to get all the white out when you're working with white, but I like to rinse it out just so it doesn't tint whatever we use next. And what I'm going to use next in this brush is silver, and it's pretty touchy. All right. Go. Oops. A little bit of paint left in there, maybe. I can tell because it's in the palm of my hand. Alright, where do we put our silver? Go. I don't think I'm really supposed to add reducer because the reducer and the silver are not the same company. All right. Just about out of time. Alright, let's see how those guys look in silver. I think they look pretty good. They look pretty good. I'll leave them over here to dry a little. Some of these other guys though, and you know, still can't get everything to stick. Flip these because I like to have silver inside here, so if you look in the end you can still see this chrome here, although I definitely didn't coat these surfaces in white. And it looks like I just ran out of silver. Sanding to do on that guy. Alright. Grab our blade here. Again. Gotta try to put a little more in, but I don't want to waste it, you know. One more. Oops. Damn. Okay, guys, so we're just about out of time now. It's been about 2 hours. We got a lot done. We primed everybody. We've got a lot of our chrome happening. The next thing that I will be doing, I'm going to finish up the chrome, which is a few pieces left. You know, these guys. And then I'm probably going to coat all the pieces we painted with chrome with 4040. See if it'll help seal it down a little. The base coat, I feel like I'm still able to wipe things off, and that's not what you want. You know, you want this paint to put it where it goes and have it stay there. So they say you can use 4040 as an intercoat. I am going to try that, and I will let you know how it turns out. All right, so I will be back tomorrow on YouTube from 3 to 5. Excuse me. We'll be continuing this project, probably assemble at least the undercarriage and maybe the engine tomorrow. The time definitely is going to be in painting the character. The car itself, we got to come up with a cool color. They think yellow. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't thought of something. Hopefully I will by then. So anyway, that's what's up. And so I will be back with you tomorrow. And if you guys are interested or have any thoughts or comments, please feel free to throw them in the comments down there. Throw me an email, which is also on the page. And I'd love to hear from you. All right, you guys.